Joining us on the broadcast this morning is Major Mohammed Ali Shah, defense expert. Good morning, sir, and thank you for joining us on News X. Key developments coming in at this point, particularly pertaining to Iran and Pakistan. What do you make of Iran's attack in the Balochistan province as well as Pakistan's response?
Children, women, elderly who die. So it is extremely sad, there's no doubt, and I express my condolence to anyone who would be innocent, who would be dying. Now, secondly, I would say Pakistan asked for it. So Pakistan has also expressed great concern, despite the channels of communication open to them with Iran, that Iran had to enter the airspace, and the killing of 2 children, the grievous injuries of 3 children. So Pakistan has expressed its concern, but everyone thought that Pakistan and Iran are kind of, in a way, friends, and everything is hunky-dory between them, but it's not. Obviously, it's not. So the very fact is, for today, it's a lesson for the world that if you indulge in activities like the way Pakistan does, nefarious activities like Pakistan, no one's going to stand up for you. Rather, they will come back and they will hit you, and they'll hit you very hard. So it's a lesson for everyone, and it is indeed, I'm sure Pakistan must be very, very concerned with it. But yeah, so I can see that, it's like now Pakistan become a joke. Anyone can enter the airspace and attack them inside the house. That's where they have been reduced to, I would say that.
Indeed, sir. And this comes as the situation in the area is already very volatile. We've seen, countless attacks taking place against cargo ships in the Red Sea as well as the Gulf of Aden. So do you think now, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar was in Iran day before yesterday as well. He has met the Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, and security situation was also raked up. So do you think there's a possibility of the security angle and the sort of tensions that are existing, the volatile situation that is existing in and around Iran to quell down?
See, Mr. S. J. Shankar was in Iran yesterday, and he even met the president, as you mentioned, Mr. Raisi, and he conveyed his greetings on behalf of Mr. Narendra Modi, on behalf of the Prime Minister. He also met his counterpart over there, the foreign minister. So the very fact is, Iran is not in the good books of very many people. That's a different thing. Like, say, because Iran and US do not get along. So when, of course, people who want to appease US also would not get along with Iran. India's foreign policy is very straight, very simple, very straightforward, that we would be friends with everyone. We would be helping everyone in time of need. We will stand by everyone whenever anyone needs them. Now, India and Iran, the relationships are okay. I will not call it good. I will not call it bad either. I would call it okay. The very fact that the channel of communication, the diplomatic channels are very much open. Now, I would call Pakistan and Iran's whole relationship also pretty okay. But now, Iran invading the airspace and launching an attack over there, that is something for Pakistan to ponder about and to do. It's about time they do a self-introspection, and they should see that why friends are turning foes, why people are against them. Is it either the whole world, something wrong with the whole world, and Pakistan is right? They might feel that way. Or they might realize that the whole world is right. We have to do a self-introspection, and we have to see what is wrong with us. Forget about India. Even countries like Iran is attacking Pakistan today. Why? There has to be a reason. No one's gone mad. You just go out of the blue and just go and attack them for joy. There has to be a reason behind it. So Pakistan also has to do a self-introspection about that.
Indeed, sir. And even as we're speaking about the volatile situation in and around the Red Sea in particular, the US has now carried out another strike targeting a Houthi missile facility in Yemen. Now, according to US Central Command, at approximately 4:15 a.m., US forces struck and destroyed 4 Houthi anti-ship ballistic missiles are prepared to launch from Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen. This is the third U.S. military strike against Houthi targets and was launched because the 4 missiles, as U.S. says, posted an imminent threat to merchant vessels and U.S. Navy ships. So the situation only seems to be escalating at the moment. We have, in fact, seen visuals earlier of the U.S. and UK coordinated strikes against the Houthis in Yemen. Now, it's no secret that the Houthis have been backed by Iran. So what do you make of this action by the US now? Because they don't seem to be backing down.
Most certainly. See, as you rightly said, 15th January, 4:15 p.m. Iran time, the US, there was a major operation, and the Houthis had become a nuisance in the Red Sea. Over 50 countries were affected. They had to change their trade route, their sea route, their shipment. They had to change it because Houthis said anybody who would be supporting the US is going to have it. That was the statement by Houthi, in fact. Now, Houthis, as you rightly said, it's no more a secret that they are backed by Iran, and blatantly. The Houthis are prevalent in Yemen, in Sana'a, in Aden, and in the Red Sea especially, where I also had a voyage over there. I had traversed from Saudi Arabia to Egypt via the Red Sea. It was so peaceful that time. And now I'm talking about about 30 years back almost. So now you can imagine what kind of a nuisance, what kind of a terror Houthis were reigning at the Red Sea. So the operation by US had to be launched. US and UK, backed by Israel, backed by Canada, Netherlands, backed by other nations. They had launched this operation on the Red Sea to flush out the Houthis from there. Houthis retaliated. US would not take that lying down at all. In fact, in 1914, when the First World War took place, and in 1918, when a US ship was sank, when it was protecting the UK borders, the waters, that's the time America entered the World War, after 4 years of being determined that they would not enter the World War. So that is the seriousness that US looks at it as. So now when Houthis, they sunk an American ship, Americans are going to bombard the Houthis, finish them off completely. They will also launch several operations where Houthis are nowhere to be. Their terror gets over. So when America launches an operation on Houthis, it's fine, I think. It's perfectly fine. And in fact, Houthis have a lot to lose and a lot to watch out for. They better mend their ways. Otherwise, many countries who are unhappy because of Houthis' ill behavior in the Red Sea, it's going to be a nuisance further on. And also, US, when they attacked a Houthi ship, they found a lot of equipment over there, weaponry, which was made in Iran, which was Iran-based. So it's no secret at all. It was never a secret. It was a very open secret that Houthis are backed by Iran, most certainly.
Indeed, and you've spoken about the US Navy seizing an illicit shipment of Iranian-made ballistic missile components intended for the Houthi rebels in Yemen. I'd like to inform our viewers that this operation has taken place off the coast of Somalia, and the seized items included propulsion guidance and warheads for medium-range ballistic missiles and anti-ship cruise missiles. Meanwhile, what has also taken place is that 2 elite Navy SEALs who went overboard are now missing. So 2 US Navy SEALs during this operation are now missing. Major Shah still with us on the broadcast. US seems unrelenting at this point, as I earlier mentioned. What do you make of the international response at the moment to the Red Sea crisis, particularly that of China? And do you think China has something to gain out of this?
Well, yes, of course, China most certainly have a lot at stake. In fact, they had a lot to gain. For example, the route, it was very much open where everyone is fearing the Red Sea, everyone is fearing to travel from there for their voyage, for their shipments. China like a dada, like खुलेआम, सरेआम, कोई बात नहीं, हम मैं bond हूँ, बाकी सब बेवकूफ हैं. So China would actually come from there. I mean, they were, and secondly, China was responsible in getting Iran and Saudi Arabia to become friends once again. So China had a lot in stake over there. Now the very fact is, and China doesn't get along with US, obviously. So the route for Chinese vessels was very much open, free flowing. There was no problem that they were facing at all. So most certainly, China, the world, the international response to the strikes in the Red Sea on Houthi rebels, well, as I mentioned earlier, the Houthi rebels had become a nuisance for everyone in the Red Sea, where you could not travel certain routes, you could not touch upon certain ports, you cannot take a certain route. Imagine going by, when you go by a road, imagine if I have to come from Gurgaon to Okhla, and I'm not allowed to use certain roads because I'm scared that there will be some rioters over there will be some criminal elements, there would be some people who are out to get my car. So I'll have to shift the route, I'll have to take a longer route. It'll be such a nuisance for me. Similarly, it was quite a nuisance in the Red Sea that they were raining terror, the Houthis rebels, and now the US has launched operations. Let's wait and see what happens, and how much Houthis would retaliate. Yeah, Houthis did react and retaliate on a US ship, but the US ship went unharmed. There was not a single casualty. The vessel just continued their voyage. There was no problem at all with them. So Houthis stand no chance in terms of power, in terms of resources, in terms of strength. So let's see how and what reaction will the Houthi rebels have on that.
Indeed. And with that, sir, I would like to thank you for taking our time speaking to us this morning.